Let's talk about MSF. Let's talk about all of us. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things Scopely does. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Like and subscribe.
What's going on, everybody? Taco Shooter here with my special guest this week, MrHartgrave, where we will talk about everything wrong with Marvel Strike Force. No, wrong show.
That's a throwback, yeah.
Yeah, right. That's it. So, again, another episode of Let's Talk About It. Join my friend, my colleague, MrHartgrave. Thank you so much for being here, buddy. How are you doing?
I'm awful. I'm blitzing a lot, and it sucks. Yeah,
I hate Blitz so much.
a
Oh
lot.
my God.
Yeah, I get really mad when I got to do this. And, I know we don't have to do anything,
Yeah.
but I feel compelled, I guess is how you would say it.
Before we get into the interview piece, so this Kang release, man, sure feels bad. I'm watching a lot of my free to play friends in the game to sort of see how they do with it, and I'm really curious to see how it goes because so typically, no big surprise. I took over Reminex's I Do Things So You Don't Have To montage a bit when he went completely free to play. And I typically open up a character to 6 stars, and then I use the event to get that last star on a character. And I'm not certain it's going to happen this time.
Yeah, 300 shards. I don't think they're giving out that many on.
I'm like, there's a ridiculous amount of blitzing that I've gotten fortunate. I think I've gotten 2,000 drops from the blitz, and I know I'm not blitzing nearly as hard as most people because I legitimately hate it. Like it's the one game mode that if it just disappeared, I would not be bummed at all.
It's never going away.
Oh, I know. I
want to really put that out there because people often think that they can make it go away.
Yeah.
You can't.
No.
It's never going away till the end of the game. So if you don't like blitzing and you think it should go away and you're like, oh man, I'm going to wait another few months and see if it goes away. It's just never going away. So you can cut to whatever you think you're going to do in a few months from now.
Yeah. Well, so not for nothing though. The blitzes themselves are a form of catch-up mechanic for new players, right? Like
if they put the right characters in them, yeah, sure.
Yeah. So that was sort of one of the big problems that I had over the summer in particular when they were doing all these big long blitz events, and everybody's just in this one massive pool. It's not fair to those people that really need those shards. I'm blitzing with my at the time 30 mil roster compared to everybody else's 10 to 15. They can't touch what I'm doing, and that's me going half-assed. Like,
well, one thing that I've put forward that Archangel, community manager Archangel, really does like, and I don't know if we can get this to happen, but they've shown us that they have the technology. They can do this.
Yeah.
Anyone who has 7 stars on a character, separate leaderboard.
Yes.
Get me away from these people.
Yes.
That would be great. And it's liked.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can make it happen. I think I might need a little more support on my channel to be able to push something like that. Not a shameless plug, by the way. I don't give a shit if you subscribe to me or not or whatever. I just really want to help people out, and I can only do that if I have a larger platform. And so the smaller my platform, the less shit I can do, stuff like that, which would be great.
Yeah.
But I'm still kind of a quiet voice.
No, I mean, I think the moral of the story there is there's a few different options that you can go about with blitzing. Like they've shown that they've got the ability to have separate leaderboards. They've shown they have the ability to do multiple blitzes at once, which that also sort of solves that problem where people can sort of pigeonhole on the blitz they want to do.
Yeah.
So there's a number of ways to sort of fix this issue. So hopefully it happens. Hopefully they'll find a way to improve the quality of life for the younger accounts, the smaller accounts that are out there. But who knows what tomorrow will bring? Who knows?
I think the new design is more mindful of that. The way they design the scourges is great. New
Yes.
players can just go grab. I mean, eventually, like what? We're all gonna have 7 stars on all of our legendary horsemen.
Yeah.
And a new player can just walk into that and, if they want to, especially if they're spending a little money
Yeah.
or whatever, you can just hit top 50.
Yeah. Well,
Right? And
so
start.
one of so there's another streamer out there, goes by Walker Slayer. Good friend of the channel, been on Happy Hour a bunch of times. His approach to Crucible is, I mean, not Crucible, Scourge is the healthiest of anyone I've come across. So basically, he doesn't want to finish the event the first or second time. He goes hard the third time. That way, he has a chance of getting towards the top and getting high red stars, so he doesn't have to worry about dark promo credits and things like that. And it's a brilliant philosophy.
Yes.
That
Very
honestly, it's the healthiest way to play the game from a Scourge standpoint.
I'm in between. I go hard the second time.
Yeah.
So I hit top 50 on War Scourge the second time around, got my free 5 red on Red Hulk, and I don't know if I should say this or not, because I don't know if my competition's watching, but I'm like, I haven't finished Node 10 yet. I have the #1 score in Scourge right now. They just don't know it yet. Yeah, I can drop it any time I want to. I'm 5 minutes away from the #1 score. Not even that, 1 minute.
Well, you only got a day left, so don't forget to finish it.
No, I don't forget anything. I'm addicted to this game, and it occupies almost 80% of my brain at this point.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
It's horrible. All right. It's a horrible existence I lead.
So let's occupy a few things other than Marvel Strike Force. The
other 20%? I don't know, man. We're scraping the bottom of the barrel now.
No, so let's take it back a little bit. So you've been playing the game for a long time. I don't think you were beta, but you were like,
I was beta.
You were beta. Okay.
So, just like a couple weeks of beta, not very much.
So you've been playing it since it got going, and then we talked a little bit about it when we had you on Happy Hour a few weeks ago, but getting into the content creation side of it, at what point did you think it was the right decision? Like, what made you just say, hey, I can do this and I can do it well?
I think it was really people around me. I'm very critical of information that's given out to the Marvel Strike Force community, right?
Yeah.
Being an alliance leader and captain, like a top 20 alliance leader and captain at that. Very critical of the stuff that would come out. And a lot of the information would be like, this is just off, or this is just, it doesn't apply to us. Okay. And it kind of doesn't, at a certain level, it doesn't matter what you guys do with your isotope. At a certain matter, it just doesn't. So I don't really care. I'm not really these guys are damaging the community, because I get that. People come at me and they're like, you're damaging the community. Like, no, that's bullshit. That's absolute crap. Like, most people don't play this game at a level where skirmisher or striker on your Spider Weaver, who gives a shit? It doesn't matter. She's fine. But and when you're doing a top 20 alliance, like, it kind of fucking matters. Like, every little thing matters a lot. So like, this infographic would come out and be like, bullshit, fuck that. And like, I break it down for everybody in the alliance or anybody listening to me. And they'd be like, you should be a content creator. I'm like, yeah, I guess I can speak well. And fuck, I could even dress up.
So I sort of want to talk about that too. When you decided to bring out the MrHartgrave persona, from day one, as far as I can remember, you've always had I don't know since day one, but since I first saw you streaming, you've had this tie.
Sure, yeah.
Like, what made you say, all right, I'm going to be the best dressed content creator in Marvel Strike Force?
Well, I think it's just it comes from my performance background. I sang for a lot of bands for a long time, and when you go on stage, you dress up, right?
Yeah.
At least some people do, but that's the kind of music I listen to. The guys that dress up to go on stage. Like, I'll probably catch Ghost on their tour, right? Like, I like stuff like that, where they're gonna get on stage and you're gonna bring the show, and so that was just where it came from. And plus, I just dress this way. When you say persona, there's not too much. Like, talk to my wife, man. She wishes it was a persona sometimes. Like, come on, this is pretty much. It's not. It's like normally I'm on 10, and maybe when I'm online I turn it up to 11.
Okay. Yeah. So I always say that
It's pretty unbearable all the time though. Yeah.
as far as the content creators that you'll meet, typically the person that you see on stream is who they are, just turned up.
Yeah.
That's interesting that you're already maxed and you turned it up from maxed.
A little more, yeah, just a little more.
The performance side. So what made you want to get into singing and performing? Because you've been in a number of bands, and so what made you want? How did you figure out that that's something that you could do and that you wanted to do? And sort of follow up question: do you play any instruments?
Yeah, so I got into it for a very basic reason. When I was a young lad, I found music very helpful to getting me through, the teenage years. And all I wanted to do was give back. I wanted to be able to do that for someone else, right? That was the whole idea.
Yeah.
This got me through. Let me do this for somebody else. And through this Marvel Strike Force thing, yeah, absolutely. I think I've accomplished that. From all the testimonials I get, which is numerous, at least a couple of times a week or, once every other week, I get a big lengthy, like 6-paragraph message from somebody about how I helped them, turn around some bad habits they were having in their life, assess this, thing that they're doing in a different way and a more healthier way, or even just as simple as, hey, you telling me which isotope 8 to put on this character. Now I can beat scourges, whatever. So yes, for some people, a very profound difference. For some other people, a very surface level difference. But goddamn, differences are being made, and it's what keeps me going and doing this. And for the follow-up question, no, I'm a fucking idiot. All I can do is make mouth sounds.
Okay.
I also know quite a bit of production techniques as far as arrangements.
Yeah.
I can program a drum machine. I can do computer shit, computer fuckery. But as far as actual musical knowledge, like zero. I'm a goddamn idiot. So that was the main problem with my musical career, was that I didn't learn anything.
Yeah.
That was a mistake. But it's fine.
The
A lot of singers that are just idiots. I'll just admit it.
Yeah, no, that's fair. So back to the testimonials that the messages that you've received. One of the things that turned me on to your content, turned me back onto your content, in particular, was the focus on mental health and the focus on gambling addiction and various other forms of addiction. Is there something in your is there a point in your life where this is stuff that you actively had to deal with that made you want to give back to the community in some way?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I know.
Yeah.
My mother has battled with and it continues to battle with mental illness her entire life. And I was a big part of helping her realize that and come to terms with it. I had to get my mother checked into like outpatient care and inpatient care even for mental health issues. So there was that. And then my father literally killed himself with alcohol and pills.
Yeah.
So yeah, like addiction, mental health, that's my entire upbringing, everything I know. So when I speak about it, it's just very natural for me to be very blunt about what this is. As opposed, I don't really see this game as a video game very often. I love it when it's a video game because then it's so much breezier to talk about, right?
Yeah.
But when like we gotta do something like this Kang blitzing thing, it's like I can't pull the wool over my own eyes and see this game for anything other than it is. They're just trying to make money, guys. And they're making money at your expense.
Yeah.
They're playing upon the mechanisms in you about having your FOMO and all this, repetitive behavior. So many of the mechanisms that they use prey upon, the mentally diverse or those people who are prone to be addicted to things. It mimics the symptoms of addiction. I don't even want to say that this game's necessarily the problem with this game being addictive, like truly addictive, is that it's dog shit. It's not very good to be addictive. It has to give you serotonin. It has to be good. It doesn't even do that. It's so shitty that it just mimics addictive behaviors until you feel addicted to it. Because the one thing I've noticed with people who quit is that they don't have withdrawals because they weren't getting anything from the game to withdraw from.
Yeah. Well, no, so that's important to sort of focus on to an extent, because I think I see a lot of people sort of bash the idea of addiction to a mobile video game, and addiction may not be the right word, but it's the closest thing to the right word, because there's not. There's not really a word for folks that are playing video games and just don't stop or can't stop or have to go through, because to your point, you quit playing and you're fine. Like,
you're fine. Like that, that's like the biggest thing. I get told it a lot. I've quit, and dude, I thought like it was gonna bug me, but it doesn't. I feel really good. Like I don't have any desire to come back to it. Now, people might come back 6 months later, a year later, dip their toe in. I've seen that happen plenty.
Yeah.
Because they get bored again, or they get back to the place in their life that brought them to the game in the first place, right?
Yeah.
That might happen. But I noticed that people don't really. I'm sure there's some people out there who are really addicted to it, that are really getting a lot from it. I think when I first started playing, like year one, I was probably addicted to it. Like I was probably out. And I think the key characteristic, because we've done a lot of research about this on my channel, is that you really have to be playing the game as a way to ignore everything else in your life.
Yeah.
And that's kind of one of the key characteristics of like video game addiction. And maybe a better word is video game compulsion, right? Like we're compelled to play this.
Yeah.
Maybe we're not addicted to it technically, but we are compelled to play it. And I don't play Marvel Strike Force to get away from my real life. In fact, I get really pissed off that I have to play Marvel Strike whenever it interferes with my real life.
Yeah.
To the point where I'll tell the people in my real life, like, this is what I'm doing, and I'm pissed off. And then I go into this big monologue, and they go, you should go on Twitch and make money for that, you idiot. Stop talking to me.
All right. And
my wife, by the way, she's great.
Last thing that I wanted to touch on, a little bit of drama, right? So we've had, so you've had a number of interactions with various members of the community, and some of them have been super positive. I mean, you've formed great relationships with myself, with Dorky, with Run, with there too many to name.
Yeah, you really name it, and yeah, I hit it off with most people. There's a few people that I've rubbed the wrong way or rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah,
I just try to avoid that kind of situation, though, mostly. Yeah.
I'm trying to sort of get into
one situation.
Well, we won't talk about that. So obviously, we don't want to bring up any hateful rhetoric or anything like that, but at the same time, I think it's worth addressing, because there have been some interactions with some content creators that are very popular among the community. And you've done your best to sort of mend those bridges, at least from what I've seen. But what do you think gets you to the point where those problems are created, though? Is that a fair question? Like, does that make sense? Like,
fairly coherent, yeah.
So,
I mean, I know what you're trying to do. You're not trying to open up a whole can of worms for me, and I appreciate that. But like, do we want to, if you're wondering why, like, my channel took a 50% hit in viewership and where that stems from, it stems from, well, I mean, I made a video about this, right? And the video pissed people off. Like, I'm kind of held hostage right now. Like, I'm not really allowed to talk about it, which, I can open the can of worms up, right? But viewership's kind of coming back. So maybe I don't want to. I don't know. It's all there. Nothing's really hidden. I'm not like trying to.
I guess no. So I'm not trying to put you in an uncomfortable position. I guess I'm just trying to get to the point where, as content creators, the focus is on lifting one another up.
Let's say this. I don't like bigotry. I don't like homophobia. Yeah. And so it's really hard for me to not speak out against that if I see it happen in my backyard. I saw it happen in my backyard. I called it out, and I paid the price. And that's pretty much it. And I don't know. I didn't really feel like a lot of people had my back on that. And I really feel like we turn a blind eye to it. And that does piss me off. And it makes me want to say something about it. But it just kind of shoots me in the foot.
Yeah.
It doesn't help.
Well, so
I need more people to do that.
Yeah,
if we're
so
going to do that. And I will jump on to that the minute it happens.
Yeah,
I am here for it. But if it's not going to happen and we're all okay with it, fuck it. Then I'm not going to be the guy that's going to, put my fucking...
So with that situation in particular, I was very much on board with supporting that. Obviously, being a member of the LGBTQ community, I'm not going to sit there and not say anything. I just at the time didn't make. Oh Lord, that's ridiculous.
It's still, I mean, it's going on,
Yeah.
I mean, it's in decline. It's not as big as it used to be. So that's great.
Yeah, but, the members of that community that want to continue to support on that.
Yeah, whatever.
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, they'll find their way or they won't.
Like it doesn't help me to talk about it. Like I want to call it out because it's like fucked up to me. It's like if your job, right?
Yeah.
And there's a guy just with a full-on Nazi flag just sitting there. Like we're gonna say maybe he took the flag down, okay? Yeah. But he's still sitting there and like he's around the office cooler and he's saying shit and it's like it's really uncomfortable.
Yeah, no. So like I said, that type of stuff I don't have a problem with. That.
Like, yeah, I guess that's my problem. Like, why didn't that guy get fired for doing that? That was insane.
Yeah, so going after those types of individuals, is it worth the pain? Probably not. Yeah. Is it the right thing to do? I think it is. Now
I stand by what I did. I stand by pretty much everything that I've done.
Yeah, but more of you had the issue with
my wife wishes I wouldn't have done it.
Well,
she's like, yeah, I think I should have told you not to do it.
Yeah, I mean that leaves you open to being doxxed and all kinds of stuff,
all
right?
that kind of shit. Yeah. It was nasty. It's not been fun to be.
And at the end of the day, we got to take care of our families. I mean, we don't want to put anybody in harm's way or anything like that. But so like there was an issue with Tana, there was an issue with Boilon, there was an issue with other content creators that don't fall into that category.
Wait, now my issues are their issues,
but vice versa. I mean
I don't know. Was it? I'm okay. I didn't make any videos calling anybody. I defended myself against accusations that the Envoy program was hollow and without any merit.
Yeah.
And that got taken poorly by the community, which is fine. That's their decision.
Yeah.
As for Tana, I don't know, man. I've said a lot about that.
Yeah, I mean, as far as I know, the Tana thing is so both of those issues in particular, I feel are in a pretty good place right now. So it's not trying to say anything that was not trying to rehash the past as much as find a path to where that doesn't happen again.
Here's what's cool. I learned a lot from all of it.
Yeah.
From all of these experiences, I've learned a lot, and I carry myself a little bit differently now, and things are good. I think just yesterday I was on stream, right? And I think you caught wind. A lot of people know I have a band train. I don't celebrate my hype trains like an average Twitch streamer. I celebrate my band trains. So when someone is going off and saying something a little sus, we'll stop the show and we'll run a little band train. Inspired by you, actually. I like the way you do all your crazy graphics and you just layer videos on top of each other and just really go nuts with OBS and try to break it. So I kind of have a very taco shooter.
I don't break OBS, just my computer. It's fine.
Yeah, you're really chugging along there. You got like 16 MP4s running. But so I got that look. I got that aesthetic because I think that's cool. Like the old school 90s. I just got a MySpace page. Let's see how many GIFs I can cram onto it. Look, which I think is nice. It's classy. So I got that running. And then I come off a microphone to deal with them. Because I think it's unfair. Like at a comedy club, because that's how I kind of feel about it. Like I'm doing my Twitch stream, I'm live, you're heckling me, I'm gonna handle you like a heckler at a comedy club. However, it's not fair. I got a big loud microphone, right?
Yeah.
And you're just like little words on a screen. So I run the band train, I come off the microphone, and we handle it in text like civil adults. And it's been working a lot better. And then people aren't because I think there's a contingent that just wants to get me riled up, wants to get me red in the face.
Yeah, yeah.
And I feed into that when I do that. And I don't want to do that anymore. Like I'm not really here to be dramatic. I've never been here to be dramatic or open up the drama. Like even when I open up the can of worms with, calling out bad practices in our own community, right?
Yeah.
I don't mean it to be dramatic. I just wanted to say, hey, this is going on. It kind of blew my mind. I'm reacting to it, right?
Yeah.
I'm not like, I don't want to engage with it. I don't want to talk to the guy. I don't want to have him on my, I don't give a shit. I don't want to platform that. I have no interest in that shit.
Yeah.
I don't actually want to be dramatic about anything.
Yeah. No, absolutely. So I appreciate your time. I think this, hopefully we covered a lot. So let's head on over to our panel discussion. In the meantime, we've got a super amazing, excellent transition for everybody. Enjoy. Best transition ever. So good. All right, welcome back, everybody. Joining us today on our panel discussion for on Let's Talk About It is none other than the most senior 100% free-to-play player in Marvel Strike Force, CleaningAgent. This is not an actual official title. We just think it is because of his player ID. And if you think that you are the most senior free-to-play player in all of Marvel Strike Force, be sure to leave a comment below. Or don't.
Don't do it. Don't do it. It's the only thing I got going for me.
Challenge him.
Thank you for joining us, CleaningAgent. Follow
my title of extreme hoarder. He's actually hoards better than I do, which kind of bugs me. I'm Mr. 600 Gold Orb over here, and this guy beat me to my title. It's messed up.
Right. Also joining us today is, of course, coming back on the show again, Mr. SenRaven and his 47 accounts. Thank you for being here, Sen.
It's only 45. Hold on. From this whole conversation, I heard you need a rivalry or something. So I just wanted to go out on the record and say, MrHartgrave is my bitch.
I thought you were going to attack Remenex.
You want to challenge me in the ring, brother? Let's go.
It's too easy. It's too easy to go for Remenex.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
And of course, the best beard on the stage coming in live from North Carolina, Mr. SithLordFluffy. How you doing, buddy?
I'm pretty good.
So for those of you that don't know, SithLord sort of goes along with SenRaven, one of the OGs of Marvel Strike Force, been streaming for a long time, and literally a mod on, I think, every content creator's channel except for MrHartgrave, but we're looking to change that right now.
I'm going to go check on that, and if he's not on mine, he's about to be.
Yeah, I'm not a mod on Ursin, and I'm not a mod on Remenex. But I think I'm mod for everybody else.
All right. So thank you for joining us, everybody. Today's panel, I'm actually really excited about. So for the blog this week, they talked about celebrating 5 years of Marvel Strike Force, and my initial thought was I read the blog and I went meh, and like it didn't make me rage.
I'm not going to celebrate this.
Yeah, it didn't make me rage. It didn't make me happy. But as I got to thinking about
wait
it, I was
until
like,
next week.
Yeah, I was like, well, like not for nothing, but 5 years of Marvel Strike Force, that actually is a great conversation for a roundtable discussion, right? I mean, the game's been out a long time. You guys have all been part of it since the beginning. Like looking back to how it launched from beta to rolling out live, and then year one, and then going into year two, I believe is when we finally got or no, it was year three that we got Zemo. Was it that was well, so, and I bring up Zemo in particular not because MrHartgrave's here, but it changed everything about the game from a standpoint of you have this glass cannon that comes out, and you know, if you can kill him, you'll be fine. But if you don't, your world is going to be ruined by this random character blowing up everybody and bouncing all over the place. And it sort of changed how he changed a lot of the mechanics of the game. So going back to when it first started, when y'all first started playing Marvel Strike Force, like what made you so happy to do it? Was it just the Marvel IP? Was it like specific things about the game that you remember enjoying, or did you just do it because you needed to poop? CleaningAgent, starting with you.
Yeah, it was late November in 2017, and I was like, Christmas is coming up. I'm gonna have a little more time on my hands over the Christmas season. Let's pick up a new mobile game. So I just searched up the Marvel IP and found this one, and it looks similar to, what was it, Marvel Alliance, some other like
Avengers Alliance on
Marvel Avengers Alliance.
Yeah.
So it had a similar appeal, and I played that for a little bit. So I was like, oh, this is kind of fun. Hero collector, and you know, everybody has their own move sets. This looks cool, and I picked it up, and I haven't put it down yet.
All right, Sin, what about you?
Kind of the same, because I played a lot of Marvel's Avengers Alliance. We had a pretty big community for players, and including, you know, a podcast and a couple other content creators that were all connected together. And that one wrapped up.
Hey, I gotta butt in. Did you know Kingfisher?
Yes.
That's the dude I used to watch.
Chatted with him on regular basis. As soon as that game ended and his content disappeared, he didn't do anything else. Which is too bad. He was really good.
He was a daily thing. Yeah, that was like
so he was a content contributor to the podcast.
It's awesome.
For From the Helicarrier, FTH was the podcast that he contributed to. That's cool. When that game ended, a little while later, this one began, and the devs that were on Marvel on that game came over to MSF. So the MSF started with some of the devs from that game.
That makes sense.
So they messaged.
I saw a lot of stuff cold.
Yeah. They messaged the devs messaged the content guys from the podcast, said, "Hey, we got a new game starting up."
Yeah.
So they messaged everybody in the community. So I checked out the game. I played for a little bit, and then I stopped. And then my buddy messaged me when Deadpool was coming out. So I started like 3 days into the beta, and then I just didn't play. You know, I stopped a little while later, and I didn't play until Deadpool came back in.
Okay. And now, and you in particular, when did you start streaming? Because you were streaming before Mobile Gamer got here. I think you were even streaming before Tony.
I'm not sure about Tony. I started streaming probably about 4 years at this point. It's like 3.5 years at this point. It's going to be 4 in like August.
So it's basically you and Casino and Tony.
I think so. There was a couple of other people that were streaming it, but not a lot of folks. And I just started, like, my friends that lived nearby, whose place I would hang out at all the time, and we had 2 computers set up in like the little section. I would just be there all day, and we would just sit at the computers and play different games and do different things. They sold the house and moved to Washington State. I'm like, well, shit, I ain't got nothing to do.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Seaton quit by the time I started streaming. Chewburger was on. So there was a few names and some big names, but like I had nothing to do, so I might as well stream it. And I was trying to find a time where I would fit in, because it would be like, well, I can't do it during the day because Casino's on. Yeah. And I can't do it later because Tony was on, because I was like, I'm not going to do it in the evening because Tony's on after that. And kind of, so I found the spot in the morning that worked with my work schedule at the time.
And then with,
I actually had somebody, like, the first couple of times I streamed, somebody came in and was like, you got a pretty big account. Why aren't you a bigger streamer? I'm like, dude, this is like my 3rd day on. I can't be a bigger streamer. I just started.
And SithLordFluffy. Then we got so when we got nipples introduced to the game with Hulk, Did you think that everything was going to be fine? Did you foresee that there would no longer be nipples in Marvel Strike Force after Hulk was released?
No, I didn't. I did not see that coming at all, actually.
So as far as that initial interaction, so when you first started playing the game, same thing. Just you wanted to do the Marvel IP and it checked some boxes for you.
Sort of. I was big into Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes there for a while, and a lot of guys that I was playing that game with told me about MSF when it was in beta. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, yeah, I'll give it a shot. So a bunch of us from Swugga came over to MSF and started an alliance, and that was how I got into it. So,
all right, and then for MrHartgrave, and then all of a sudden, Red Stars were introduced into Marvel Strike Force. What was your thought process when that happened? Was it something that you welcomed? Or were you part of that initial rage? And this is before my time. I'm just going off of things I've heard.
I'm glad you mentioned rage because that's something I wanted to bring up. So Marvel's Avengers Alliance ran for 3 years, right? If I'm not mistaken. I don't remember anything like this happening there. There weren't like these really rage videos. This rage.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's not a thing.
Yeah.
I want to go back to that.
They were
is that the game or is that the time? I mean, so like essentially, yeah, because
I think it's both.
If you look on YouTube, rage videos are sort of top content, and that sort of happened during the pandemic, at least in my eyes. Maybe it was there before. I don't know, but I never noticed it to the extent that I notice it now. It just seems like the pandemic, brought out the worst in a lot of us.
I don't think Marvel Avengers Alliance was I know it wasn't anywhere near as predatory as.
Oh God, no. So they were very few offers in that game. They were not very heavy on the monetization.
The Facebook version.
Yeah,
the mobile too was like they were going to try to make some money, but which even
is then, part of why it failed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Facebook version, basically, if you were very heavy into it, we basically had a $50 game tax if you wanted to go super heavy, or you could do like $20. $20 a month got you through that game, no problem. If you really wanted to go heavy, was like $50 to get like the latest new item that would carry you for a while.
There was this great cheat code too. I don't know if you remember, but you could sign up for a credit card.
Yes.
What?
Cancel it next month, and that would literally pay your way.
Yes, exactly.
Absurd, yeah.
But so that game has long-lasting effects on every Marvel game that has come since then.
Oh, yeah. They
introduced ISO 8s into the system.
Yes.
Yep. They're the first game that did ISO 8s, and every single game has used them ever since.
A lot of the characters that are in Marvel Strike Force have almost the same abilities. Like Invisible Woman, Rescue are very similar mechanics. Like a lot of the mechanics from. I wish they would bring over more mechanics.
That I wish they would use, right? like Doom.
Yeah.
They had a thing for Doom. Like nobody would work with Doom. So it was ours is a 5 versus 5. That one was a 3 versus 3.
Yeah.
So you would have 2 heroes and your agent. That was the team.
Yeah.
So, but nobody would work with Doom. So it was just Doom and you. And Doom was OP. It was like the first character. They were like, how are you going to do this with just 2 characters? Oh, he's just going to kill everybody. Don't worry about it.
You know what I miss the most is having a burning and a bleeding. It kind of annoys the crap out of me that
they got rid of it down the line though. Like they went and simplified a bunch of stuff later.
Hellfire. They had fire and hellfire.
They had a couple of things that were kind of doing the same thing, so they sized it down a little bit later.
Burning and bleeding should be 2 separate things. Thank you.
Yes.
Come on. All right. Red Stars. So Red Stars, when they came in, what was my reaction? I mean, I think I was into it. I wasn't into buying them, but when you first start up the Red Star, journey, it's pretty good because it's exciting to open them because.
Well, and there was a lot less characters.
There are a lot less characters, and the characters that hit were good and valid. Now the Red Star system, of course, is horrendous because you have like 200 characters, only 50 of them are good. So the odds are junk, and it's just awful. And I can't even imagine the catch-up mechanic is non-existent for them. It's aged really, really poorly. But I think the initial system is fine. I wasn't upset about it. I did get really, really bad pulls on my red stars. I didn't have any good red stars. I think I had a 4 red on Storm, and that was my best red star pull for like the entire year. That was my star character. It was really bad. I had really bad red stars, and I still wasn't mad. I was like, oh, yeah, it'll catch up. I'll get there. And now I'm there. I mean, I have a full roster of my shit's all red now.
Yeah.
Which is a problem. I should see a doctor about that.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, it's definitely
cleaning agent.
Lotion on it.
You guys stop playing Marvel Strike Force. I'm like, fuck it, I'm not doing that.
So cleaning agent, as the extreme hoarder that you are, do you also hoard red stars?
I did, yes. I don't call red stars red star orbs anymore. They are dark promotion orbs now. Because if you're opening red star orbs when it's not the ×10, you're doing it wrong. Dark promotion credits are so valuable and so rare that you need to use them. That's what they are. They're dark promotion
They've basically
orbs.
jumped off. Like red stars don't even matter anymore, and it's just all
Yeah, I mean, if you're a new player, I still would recommend doing it only at the ×10 because you'll still get red stars when you're a new player for characters you need. But I could see a case of being like, no, I want to pull it when any time of the week, right? But yeah, no, they are dark promotion.
I think I'm actually at the point, and there's a point where you can reach where you don't even want to open them even when they're boosted. Because if you're going to top out your dark promo credits, like if you're saving them for Apocalypse, which is probably the right thing to do, sadly, you want to hoard them and don't even open them.
Yeah. And so when Red Stars first came out, I'll be honest, like I've gone through different iterations of how I played this game. I've been super sweaty, leading alliances, things like that, and I've been super casual throughout my 5+ years playing. But when like Red Stars first came out, and I've always been a core hoarder, I would definitely buy like 900 credit Red Star offer in the store and just waste my cores on that trash.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's like my biggest regret in this game is blowing my Red Star core.
A lot of us from beta,
you reminded me about that offer, and we have a core event right now, so I might actually go buy that one right now.
A lot of people from beta have like massive amounts of cores that they spent in really, really stupid ways. I never had the cores. I was really stupid in beta. When I played this game in beta, I was just having fun. I was like, Punisher, woo! And I didn't fart Black Widow at all.
Yeah, but that happens with every game, right? Every game of this type where you're like, hey, I got these gold things. What do we spend them on? Let me just go spend it on this. And then 3 months later, you're like, oh, I kind of need them for like energy refreshers and stuff. I get it.
I've learned from my mistakes now. When I started up, I played Marvel Snap in beta. I still have like 10,000 gold.
Yeah.
I still don't even play that fucking game. Yeah. But if I come into it, I have enough resources to do anything that's going on. So if they ever make it friendly, which I doubt, I could come back and have a good time.
I'm the exact same way, Heartgrave. Once a hoarder, always a hoarder. My Marvel Snap, same amount of gold as you.
I think
I had
what I'm getting out of this is that Marvel Strike Force teaches everybody how to hoard in other games.
Yes, absolutely. I had the same mentality for Snap when it started, right? I was like, oh, we're getting gold. Okay, I'm going to hoard it. Yeah. But then all the variants, and I'm like, you know what? This game is way more casual.
Yeah, it is.
And they got some stuff that I actually like the look of. I'm like, every now and then, I'm like, oh, I want that card. Click. Oh, look, I know. But like, so I started playing that one right when they were in beta. Like, as soon as I could get access to it, I got it. So for a while, there was nothing to spend the gold on. Yeah. And like, you figure later they're going to introduce something. Yeah. But it's still like, just like an MSF, the best thing to spend cores on is to refresh your energy. Over there, it's best use of gold is to refresh your missions. Yes. So it's just 120 gold. Here's a couple more missions, and that's how you power level in there. You just keep going.
So as we got through Red Stars, they started before they got to Red Stars, they brought in the raid modes, and we've had a lot of raid iterations over the years. I don't know if Ultimus was the original raid that was launched in Marvel Strike Force, because I wasn't here when it happened. I'm assuming it was.
I think so.
Yeah. But we've got the Ultimus, we've got the Greek raids, we've had the Gambit raids. There's been a lot of raid iterations, and Doom raids, of course. Don't
forget the Deadpool raids.
Oh,
Yeah, the
Deadpool raid,
that was before my time. I don't know anything about
Yeah.
Deadpool raid.
They're coming back.
They
Don't worry, they'll come back.
They did a set of Deadpool raids that were originally, the first one was 2 hours.
Yeah.
Which, considering you have a worldwide game, is the most idiotic thing I could think of.
Or
wasn't it like a bunch of them?
Hey!
No,
if you had an
no,
alliance
no.
that all lived in the same time zone, there was no problems at all.
Sure.
Just remember, guys,
Good luck
the
getting
only
4
place
people
that
alliance
exists-
with everybody in the
Yeah.
same time zone.
Get
Remember,
24 people
guys,
to do stuff at the same time. Good luck.
the only place that exists in the world, according to Boundless, is California, where the
Yes,
fucking
America.
office is located, and no other place exists. So don't worry about it. Just move to California.
So
As a Canadian, I say classic American thinking.
Where?
same. Yeah,
Where are you
he's
from?
talking about
California?
he's talking about North United States.
Yeah.
Same thing.
California. You're from California. Then, is what you're saying.
it's
So 2-hour raids
basically
aren't a problem for you.
yeah, it's basically California.
No problem. We'll run the game.
So when the raids were brought into the game, is that something that came out at launch, or was that introduced as it went through?
Probably
I
towards
don't
the end of beta.
remember.
End of beta.
Was it end of beta?
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
it was close to launch time, if I
close
can
to.
recall correctly.
I started playing like a week after global launch, and it was already in the game.
Yeah.
Okay, and now with those initial raids, is that where the BKT came from?
Yes.
No,
Yeah.
that was a
So
little later.
that was Ultimus 6.
No, that was Minerva. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
Minerva
was like
released.
Ultimus 5 or Ultimus 6. Basically, we were trying to figure out. The joke was, where do you put Minerva? And the response was, you put her on the best possible Kree team, which is, there was no Kree team.
Just her.
Yes, it was just her.
Yeah. So so with this 5-year anniversary, they joked about that the devs bought into the best Kree team, and that they were gonna put an in-game tag, temporarily at least, BKT tag.
Oh, that'd be great.
And that we were going to have to use them in some form of fighting. I don't know if it's going to be a pocket dimension or if it's going to be a specific raid. I got no idea. We'll find out, I guess. It's probably in the blog. I just didn't read it because I don't care.
It wasn't in the book. It's mentioned in the blog. Who coined that term?
That came from, I believe that was from Tony. It was either from Tony or from Cass. I don't remember.
The Tony joke has made it into the game.
Oh,
well, no.
absolutely.
So
You gotta let Tony know.
No.
I don't. I think it's Cass. I think it was Casino.
It was Chewburger. It was Chewburger.
Oh, okay.
It was straight up
let him up.
Chewburger.
Let him know, man. He's
Oh no, he knows. Like
Yeah.
They started making the joke, and then Casino started making the joke, and it snowballed
No,
from
but
there.
does he know it's going to be in the game? It's
Yeah.
in the
No,
blog right now.
maybe not.
There is a
Maybe not for
BKT
this thing.
event on the horizon.
He should they should both come back for the week that it's happening.
This is it.
So you guys were talking about the mental problems and the addiction problems of the game. Chewburger had when the Red Stars came out, that was the biggest problem for him for the game. Because the Red Stars were very heavy.
Yeah.
You got all the shining lights and everything and it was really pushing on the addictive properties. And he's in healthcare stuff, but on the more administrative stuff on the side. So he was like, "This is very bad. This is like very heavy, pushing on those addictive tendencies.
Yeah.
Because not only are you watching somebody else pull it from content creators and like, oh, FOMO, I'm not getting the same stuff. You're also like, hey, I pulled this. Oh, for $50, I can buy more. And so it just kind of snowballs. And he had that was one of the biggest problems that he had with the game.
Did he decline making orb opening videos then?
Yes.
That's great. Yeah. That's awesome. I don't do it myself. I've had one from like when I started, I did it as a joke. I'm like 500 subscribers. Let's do an orb opening. And then some asshole clips that and like puts that out. And it's like, MrHartgrave's a liar. I'm like, like, come on, get over it. I had like no one watching. But now that I have a platform, I would feel really irresponsible about making a video where I open orbs and like promote gambling. Like, what the fuck, guys?
Well,
like,
I gotta say, as far as like opening orbs, so I've never, like, the only videos I've ever done are these, and then of course my public service announcements, which are super important. They talk about masturbation and flatulence and butt eating, stuff like that.
Washing your ass is the most important announcement you
absolutely
ever had.
Yeah, it's it's God's work. But at the end of the day, when I do open orbs on stream, and I'm very blunt about it. Like, I don't believe in seed theory, and I tell people, what am I doing? I'm spending a lot of money. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm the same way. I'll open on stream, and it's just more of a joke than anything.
Yeah, it's a gag.
I'm not casting accusations. And you got to understand, there's like a difference between doing something on stream for, let's say, a couple hundred people, and then putting something on YouTube for 20,000 people.
Right.
It's a big difference. And you're gonna, like, maybe the 200 people in you run an adult stream, right?
Yeah.
On YouTube, you're definitely, when you're hitting 20,000 plus, you're hitting kids, and that's gonna feel really weird if you think about it. Which the correct thing is to not think about it in that case.
I mean, but I gotta say, I mean, just from the outside looking in, I used to really love watching, like, what was it, Well Wars that Casino would do.
Yeah.
I loved watching that shit, and it didn't make me want to spend or open orbs. It just, I thought it
was the idea.
Yeah, it was and they're sitting there making fun of each other and having a good time at each other's expense. Oh, you only got 2, ha ha ha. Like, it was stupid, and I found it very entertaining. And honestly, I'm surprised nobody picked that up. I mean, there's a lot of whales and krakens out there, and a bunch of them stream.
I don't know if it's good. I mean, that's actually something I would never do, because that's what kept me out of content creation. Videos like that, that kind of shit, made me go, I don't want any part of that shit. I don't want to be in that crowd.
So what about it didn't you like? Because I thought they were super entertaining.
Literally jumped into one of my streams and tried to give me $100 to buy red stars with. I told him to fuck himself.
I didn't have that problem, but I also probably already bought the pack, so it didn't matter anyway.
I'm just not.
I mean, if you want to reimburse me, that's fine. Like,
I'm not into gambling. I'm not into promoting gambling. Gambling does nothing for me.
Yeah,
it's not interesting to me, and I know how damaging it can be to so many people. So I'm just not into it. I'm not into promoting it in any way, shape, or form. Yeah. And maybe sometimes I open an orb here or there or whatever, but it's like it's tongue in cheek or whatever, or clearly like, hey guys, I'm going to open an orb. I open one, I get the 4 red, I'm done.
Yeah.
That's it. Cold. I'm not going for 7 red on this guy. No, it's like one. Over.
Well, the other thing is like, especially for free to play, 7 red star pulled means nothing to you.
Yeah.
You're going to have that character at 3 or 4 stars for the next 6 months.
You want to hear a joke? I got King at 6 red.
There you go.
I'm
still waiting on my Agatha 7 red pull. Agatha's going to get there one day.
It's going to be great.
Yeah, no, that's so when I do my pulls, I've got there's always, anytime a character release come out, I go and I try to max out the characters, get as close to I can on stream as soon as we go, and then go in and show people how it plays at that level. And it's a lot of fun, but there's a lot of people in chat, and I've always been, I feel like I've got the best chat in the world. I mean, I guess every streamer feels that way, but like the people that are in my chat in my community are always like, if somebody asks a question, like 5 people in chat answer that question correctly before I get the opportunity to. You know, and when I'm doing my streams, there's a lot of free to play in there, and they're like, yeah, I just got 7 stars too. Too bad I'm never going to have them at 7 stars.
Yeah.
And, you know, so, but I think it's very leveling, and it's good for people to say that. And it's sort of that same, you know, I talk about mental health a lot in my streams because I want to normalize it as much as possible. And it's the same thing. Like, not everybody's getting a 7 red star and then going to unlock that 7th red star. Like, that's not a realistic thing for the majority of people to do. Focus on what you have control over. You know, focus on what you can change. Don't focus on, you know, winning the game. There's no such thing. Doesn't exist. So,
yeah, I think that's another misnomer.
okay,
I don't know. I'm back to the Mr.
CleaningAgent actually has won the game as
yes.
someone who's never spent a dime. And
Yeah, let me jump in there. I don't want to make this a Mr. Hartgrave interview. I know this is the roundtable portion, but I do make thumbnails that say how to win. Please know that the quotation marks are there. Like, they're not really there.
Sarcasm.
Yeah, it is sarcasm. This is how. When you have to redefine your term of winning to play Marvel Strike Force if you want to have a good feeling at the end of the day. Yeah. And that's what that is. You know, that's what Marvel Strike Force is.
Yeah. I mean, so sorry to interrupt. Like, my personal definition of winning Marvel Strike Force is, are you having fun?
There you go.
Exactly what I was going to say, Taco. In my streams over and over again, I'm like, this is how I play the game, which is unlike anybody.
Yeah.
Especially when I'm streaming. I do everything not to play the game the way it's supposed to be played because I have way more fun doing that. And I wouldn't be playing this game 100%, would not be playing this game still if I wasn't streaming it and making fun of the game with people in chat. So that's
I got the same problem. I got the exact same problem. If I wasn't streaming it, I probably wouldn't be playing it anymore.
Yeah, so not for nothing. I know we're here doing Let's Talk About It, and you know, we've got our featured guest as MrHartgrave, but I would like to point MrHartgrave to CleaningAgent because I would love to see you on CleaningAgent's show. Every Friday night, he does MSF Theater 3000, where basically he cuts the head out of the characters in the campaign modes, and then you read the character dialogue. You act it out. And it's one of the funniest shit I've ever seen ever. And nobody watches this, and nobody watches it because CleaningAgent makes the videos and never posts them to YouTube. But it's so funny. It's so funny. And I think you would have a great time and you'd be great on it. So, not for nothing.
Oh, I'll slide into Hartgrave's DMs. Don't you worry about it.
All right, so we're coming up on almost an hour on this conversation, and I appreciate all of your time. I don't want to keep y'all any longer. I know CleaningAgent is pissed right now because he needs to blitz. I
uninstalled. I'm over it.
So, but before I let you go, you know, 5 years of Marvel Strike Force. You guys have all been around since either at the beginning or near the beginning. If you had it all over to do, and I don't mean today, I mean back then. If you had it all over to do again, would you have downloaded this game and played it in the same way? Sith Lord, we'll start with you.
Is this with or without the knowledge I have today?
Without. I mean, no, with the knowledge that you have today. With the knowledge that you have today. Yeah.
With the knowledge I have today,
time sink, not as much the gameplay, right?
Right. I would still play the game, but I would play it differently.
Yeah.
For sure. I would definitely have played it differently. But I would definitely still play it.
Sin, what about you?
Probably the same. I mean, overall, it's still playing it. If it was bad enough, like the other games that we've tried and streamed and played, we wouldn't be playing it still, right? I mean, it's got its problems.
Yeah.
Whether you like them or not, the problems are there. But if they get bad enough, you stop.
More or less accounts, though?
Dude, I only have the one.
All right,
He's
cleaning
saying
agent.
more. He's saying more.
Yeah, cleaning agent. What about you?
It's an interesting question, Taco, and I don't think it's an easy yes or no for me. But I'll put it as easy as I can. I have no regrets with playing 1914 days and climbing.
Whew.
Would I do it again? Knowing what I know now, I don't think so.
Okay.
It's so much time commitment that I could have played so many other games that could have been more fun. But I have no regrets because it led me to this community, which I am so happy to be a part of.
And not for nothing, but 1904, you said?
1914.
So 1914 days. Like, do you know how amazing of a guitarist you would be with that many hours?
I could play bass for MrHartgrave, okay?
MrHartgrave, what about you, sir?
Yeah, I don't really do regrets. I don't really have a lot of those. It led me to the path where I'm at now, which is a pretty great place for me.
Yeah.
So I can't say that I wouldn't. Would I suggest other people don't? Hell yes. And the main thing I would suggest that they don't do is install Discord. I think Discord is the worst part of this whole fucking experience. And it's kind of almost like I'm kind of saying what Cleaning Agent said, but kind of a little bit opposite. Like, I don't feel the community is actually the best part of this whole thing. I don't need that. I don't need 23 other guys that I got to take care of or know on this level or pretend that they are like deep personal friends of mine. I do have some friends. I do have some people I've been playing with, for 4 or 5 years. I talk to them on the phone. Shit, I might even see them in person someday.
Yeah.
But there's so many people I've come into contact with that have done nothing but like just eat up my time that I should have been spending with my family. If I have a regret, it's that. But I've turned it into this. Yeah. So like that's what I do when I have regrets, because I had regrets. I had big regrets, and I came out and I made videos about it. And now it's not a regret anymore. Now it's growth.
Yeah. Yeah. So I can say, so you brought up an excellent point before we sign off here that I want to touch on. I played this game for 2 years before I even knew Discord was a thing.
That's good.
And so when I finally started going on Discord and I finally started discovering that there was something called Twitch and that there were YouTube people, I was shocked to find out that anything was wrong with the game. I never in 2 years. And that's what I try to stress to people. Like the vast majority of people, think that folks just hate this game and hate Scopely. Most people have no idea. I played for 2 years and never knew there was a single bug in the game. Not once in 2 years. I just assumed it was me. I thought it was my phone or my service or what. Like anytime something was wrong, stupid Sprint. Like
it's always mobile's fault.
Stupid Samsung. Like
you're trying to play it on a Nokia. Now you're trying to play some Marvel Strike Force. You're like, this thing sucks.
I need a bigger phone. That's the problem. And this
is you got to have a huge phone. Yeah, big phone.
Oh, is that the folding one?
Yeah, this is the phone.
Yeah. That's what my partner has. He loves it.
Big phone.
Yeah. It's like a frying pan. It's one way to play the game.
Oh, yeah. That's the best experience you can have.
Yeah.
Bigger the phone.
When you're done, you can make some bacon on it.
There you go. It's hot. It heats up.
It really does.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here. I can't stress enough. I'll put everybody's links in the comments or in the description below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Remember that you are pretty, you are smart, and you are special. I love you all very, very much. If you haven't hit the like and subscribe and the follow and all this stuff, be better. Bye.
Thanks, Taco.
Bye.
Bye.
Keep digging.